So that was a fundamental idea of what we had when we are trying to develop any kind of database management system application. Okay. Now it's either Oracle or it's any kind of database management system software. The criteria should be the same. Be very clear about that. Now, when we start working with the Oracle-like environment, Oracle definitely provides you the facilities which no other database management system software will provide you. So whenever your Oracle is just giving up the facilities, anyhow by practical step we'll start looking into many number of things. But Oracle is the first database management system software that started providing multiple different number of tables what you can create. So normally whenever you are trying to work with the criteria and composition of your databases, you should always understand one particular factor. As far as your Oracle is concerned, there are many number of different tables what Oracle can provide you. One kind of tables what Oracle can provide you is your relational tables, and the other kind of tables what you can create as far as your Oracle is concerned. As far as your Oracle is concerned is object relational tables. You have your index organized tables, external tables, partition tables, materialized views, temporary tables, cluster tables, and dropped tables. Now, one project may not contain all the kind of tables. First, understand this. But depending upon your ability, experience, and exposure, and the type of the project, and the type of the client or customer, and the type of the domain on which you are exactly trying to do the project, there could be multiple different types of tables what you have to create. Even though table creation is purely the responsibility of the database administrator, but as a developer, you should always have an idea at least what the particular table reflects with and what kind of table it is. You may not be creating the table, but you will be operating on the tables. You should not forget that. So one thing what I want to tell you is, out of all these tables, you are either an administrator or you are a developer, that doesn't matter. You should definitely understand what are relational tables. Because on the platform of the relational tables only, the remaining number of tables are designed and they are developed. You should always understand that. So, if you are not aware of what are relational tables, then definitely scaling yourself with all the remaining kinds of tables can be a problem for you. Why? Because the limitation of the relational tables is an extension with object relational tables. The limitation of the relational tables is an extension with index organized tables. Means if you say that you are operating for a specific type of table as far as your Oracle database is concerned, as far as your Oracle database is concerned, any particular table you see, the table, if it is specialized because of some limitations in the relational table. So your administrators and architects, what they will do is, they'll definitely try to study the requirement of a project as per the client's requirement, and they will finalize what kind of tables your project should contain. But any project, 90% will definitely contain majority of the tables as relational tables. Compromising relational tables, we do not create any other tables. First understand this. Therefore, if new versions of Oracle are coming, it doesn't mean that you have to definitely go with the criteria of knowing all the new tables that are there. In my client's project requirement, 90% of the tables are relational only. Whenever my architect feels that relational table cannot do this kind of work, this is the amount of work, means 80% of the work my relational table can do. There is some requirement that is arising from my client, where that requirement that is demanded by my client is unable to be carried by the relational table. That 20% of what I cannot do because of the relational table, I'll extend with another table. But because I'm extending myself to object relational tables or any other tables, it doesn't mean that I am compromising my total relational tables. Therefore, any student neglecting the concept of the relational tables, he expects to make great wonders on the remaining number of advanced tables. Absolutely, he will be failing. Be very clear about that. The same way, once you start collecting the data, once you create a table, you start collecting the data. There is no other alternate here. But as you start collecting the data, you start manipulating the data. As the size of the data increases, the time for manipulation automatically decreases. Means the performance is always dropped. But no client in the world will be happy by losing the performance. So what the client says is, whether you have 10 records in the table or you are having 10 million records in the table, I definitely want the speed of my particular database to be very proper. Now how we can promise the speed that is expected by the client at any point of time? So Oracle is the first database in the world that promised the structures like indexes. So within your Oracle we have one special kind of structures which are called as indexes. Now what are indexes, what are tables, practically we will see, but I just want that point to go into your brain first of all. Indexes are special kind of structures that are created by the Oracle administrators, which always help in increasing the performance of the query. Means whenever I am reading some data from my database, these indexes will always help me in increasing my performance on my query processing. Oracle is the first database management system software in the world which started providing multiple different types of indexes, where the fundamental indexes in Oracle are B+3 indexes. Wherever B+3 indexes cannot provide the facility for better performance, then bitmap, reverse key, function based, in the different kinds of situations can go for different kinds of indexes. So once you are saying that you are getting in the Oracle-like environment, you need to be very clear with certain construct of Oracle objects plus what is their ability and necessity. It's not only we take the syntax and pick up some examples and leave it. So we need to know the reason. Therefore, one day, if I say that I am creating an index, you should immediately come into your mindset that okay, now we are talking about performance-oriented requirements in Oracle. One day, if I say that let us create object relational tables, then you should come into your mindset that okay, there is some limitation of the relational table. Therefore, we are creating an object relational table and we are extending it. The correlation of comparison is not there by you. You will just become stereotypic when you are coming into the industry. Out of 10 who are working the same way you will work, there is no innovation from your side. Today, one thing I'll tell you, you want the success factor from the industry where many people say that IT industry is insecure. The only thing I say is, can you do 2% extra amount of work than the other person? That's all. Means if your company is having 100 database developers, can you be 2% more than those all 100% people, 100 database developers? What is your innovation? What is your intellectuality? And what is your scalability? Can you prove that? You're always safe. You're always safe. But for that, there are no shortcuts. It is only by practice and experience and catching the concept, I'm telling you. Therefore, what indexes we'll create, when we will create indexes, what tables will create, when we will create the tables, you just leave all that story on my shoulders. Because if seriously we are talking about table creation, how many times you can believe me, in next 15 minutes all these tables can be completed. Maximum the student expects is what is definition and a small piece of syntax and one example. It's completed. Student will also be very happy because all the tables are completed in one day. What a kind of happiness. And you keep experience and you go and sit in the interview room, he'll not ask you how to create index organized table. If he's asking you question how to create index organized table, you'll create it. But he's asking you, can you tell me in your project if any necessity was arising for index organized table? If you say yes, then he says, explain me the situation that was demanding index organized table in your particular project. Please explain me that situation. How many times you can explain the situation? If suppose you have never worked in Oracle projects seriously and you are keeping experience out of that. Suppose you said you have been working with object relational tables. You are saying that when relational tables can store the data, what object relational tables will store? And you are saying that they also store data only. Then why we need that object relational table when data can be stored in the relational table? Can you give that cross relationship information very seriously? Or is giving you one project, what is having in a small piece of white paper, is giving you some particular ER diagram and saying, this is a relational diagram, Please analyze. I am giving you half an hour of time and tell me in this project, can I make any changes so that it can become object relational project for me? Because you have 3+ years experience, I am saying that I am having one project of a client in RDBMS. With your whole experience of 3 years, can you convert this project into object oriented? Don't be on stereotypic state of your questions, I am telling you. Because stereotypic questions, not only you, anybody can answer. But how many times you can answer questions that come out of the box? Out of the box questions means 100% these questions will never come in your first rounds. When you are facing a second round or third round, a senior manager will sit or a senior architect will sit having minimum 10-15 years experience. He will dynamically prepare a question and he will give it to you. How many times you can give solutions out of that? So, our total focus is anything that is demanded dynamically by the industry, can we produce it? By the time we complete this particular course and we go, can we apply it? Conference level problem మార్నింగ్ బ్యాచ్ కూడా అలాగే ఒక నిమిషము మీరు సపోర్ట్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వగలుగుతారా? ఈ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ సపోర్ట్ ఉంటుంది సార్. సైట్లోకి వెళ్ళండి. సైట్లోకి వెళ్తే సపోర్ట్ ఉంటుంది. అందుకని వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడంటే మన ఐడి అడుగుతాడు, డైలింగ్ నెంబర్, యాక్సెస్ కూడా అడుగుతాడు. హ్యాక్ చేయడం మొదలుపెట్టాలి. వాడు చెప్పండి ఇట్లా అయినాక బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నాయిస్ వస్తుంది, హ్యాపెనింగ్ మార్నింగ్ కంటిన్యూస్లీ అని చెప్తే వాడు చూస్తాడు. మార్నింగ్ కూడా ఇలాగే అయింది. వాళ్ళకి చెప్పండి ఐఎమ్ రికార్డింగ్ సెపరేట్లీ అని చెప్పండి, నేను సెండ్ రికార్డ్ అని చెప్పండి.